Before the 18th century, Russia maintained an exclusionary policy towards the Jews in accordance with the anti-Jewish precepts of the Russian Orthodox Church. Now, a series of pogroms against Jews took place in Russia. A pogrom was a violent riot incited with the aim of massacring or expelling an ethnic or religious group, particularly the Jews. These arose from a variety of motivations, not all of them related to the Christian anti-Semitism, which derived from the notion that Jews were responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus. Now, long-standing repressive policies and attitudes towards the Jews were intensified after the assassination of the Tsar Alexander II, somewhere in 1880. Now, this event was wrongly blamed on the Jews and sparked a widespread anti-Jewish pogroms in the Russian Empire. Now, a few years later, there was one Russian leader who was a pacifist. He did not believe in violence and did not allow pogrom, and the Jews had it wonderful by him. But the locals and the close aides of this Russian leader could not tolerate the protection of the Jews enjoyed under his leadership. They looked for ways to incite the leader against the Jews. Finally, they found a way out. They were aware that the Russian leader had a pet dog that was his constant companion. So they went over to the Russian ruler and said, "Your Excellency, you know the Jews are very resourceful people. They can do all things that no one even can imagine to do. For example, they can even make a dog talk." The Russian leader was impressed and said, "Really? That would be great if the Jews could make my dog to talk." But the local leaders immediately replied, "But they won't do it for you because you are not a Jew. They will give you hundreds of excuses as to why they can't make your dog talk." The Russian leader then said, "My Jews will do anything for me." So he called for the Jewish community leaders and said to them, "You know, I have given you protection in my kingdom. I have one favor to ask of you. My dog is my only companion, but we can communicate very limited. I want you to train my dog to speak my language. I want to have a deeper conversation with my dog." The Jewish community leaders were shocked and said to the Russian leader, "Sir, we can jump off the building for you. We can run into a burning building to save you. But please do not ask us to teach your dog to speak because it is impossible." The Russian leader was furious. He said, "I knew you would give me excuses not to teach my dog to speak only because I am not a Jew. Now listen, I give you 30 days. Either make my dog talk and let him speak my language, or I want every single Jew to get out of my country." The Jews were depressed. They got together and they began to pray. Nothing worked. The clock was now ticking, 28 days gone. And the Jews were now getting their caravans ready to leave the country. Now a local tailor from the town asked the community leader if he could speak to the Russian leader and convince him otherwise. They were annoyed. "How can you do it when even the most intelligent among us cannot convince the Russian leader?" He said, "Anyway, we have to leave. Give me a chance. Let me go and try to convince him." So they agreed. So the tailor now went to the Russian leader, met him, and in an hour he was seen with the dog on the leash. He told the local community leaders that the Russian leader had allowed the Jews to stay on and they need not leave, as he had assured the king that he would train the dog to talk. They were shocked. They asked him, "How is it possible to make the dog to talk?" The tailor then replied, "You see, I told the Russian leader that even a child takes about 2 years before it begins to speak the first few words and takes about 6 years to be able to speak fluently. And so, the dog will take about 6 to 7 years before he can speak fluently." They then asked him, "How will you ever make the dog speak in 6-7 years? To that the tailor replied, "Well, 7 years is a long period of time. Something will happen that will get us off the hook. Either the king will die, or I might die, or the dog may die, and we will all be out of it." Friends, when trouble strikes, it can feel like things will only get worse. But sometimes, all we need to do is to simply let time pass and to resist the temptation to overreact and aggravate the problem. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher and the poet, once said, "Do you have the patience to wait till the mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The wisdom of Lao Tzu is to stand still and practice the art of patience until the right action arises by itself. As the saying goes, patience is a virtue. Having the ability to stand calmly in the raging storm of life, waiting for the right moment to act, isn't easy, but it is necessary if you want to be able to make difficult decisions the right way. Many people make decisions when things are not going right for them. They look for relief in the despair of the valley instead of waiting for clarity. When you find yourself in the valley or the lows of life, the best thing you can do is to wait for clarity. Never make a big decision when you are in the low of life or where you cannot see an immediate solution. The story is also a reminder to us never to act in haste and react. As the old saying goes, don't make permanent decisions out of temporary emotions. It is important to understand that situations might change, but the decisions that we once take will have its impact for the rest of our lives, and it may also affect the lives of several other people around us. Hence, you should never make a decision when you are angry or you are upset. You should always give yourself enough time, and only when you are all set, you can take charge of deciding anything and take it away with it. When successful people find themselves in situations where they are extremely angry, sad or frustrated, they let themselves ride out of those emotions without acting on them. They know that a few minutes or even hours spent waiting for their emotions to cool down is well worth making a rational decision that plays out well in the long run. Sometimes, time will open your eyes if you keep your mind open in the process. Keep calm and let time decide. This story also epitomizes the fact that regardless of the size of the problem, we can never discount the fact that help can come from unexpected places and unexpected people. In your time of need, be it professional or personal, surprising people will rise to the occasion. Good people come from all walks of life. I have learned never to discount where and from whom I may get help when I need. People whom you least expect may be filled with wisdom, like the Jewish tailor who saved the day for the Jewish community. Anyone can become knowledgeable about a subject by reading, by researching and memorizing facts. But wisdom takes knowledge and applies it with discernment based on experience, evaluation and lessons learned. A quote by an unknown author sums up the difference well, that knowledge is knowing what to say, wisdom is knowing when to say it. To put it another way, there's a simple fruit salad philosophy. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, wisdom is knowing not to put it in the fruit salad. Finally, this incident of the Jewish community and the Russian leader is also a reminder to us all of the fact that there's nothing so small that it escapes God's notice and nothing so big that it surpasses His power. Have you ever faced a problem in your life so big, so unsolvable, it made you question if even God was competent and compassionate enough to lift it from your shoulders? Mankind has always struggled to comprehend how mighty is our God. When we stumble, when we make mistakes, when we feel buried in the stress and strain of the world, even the firmest believer can begin to wonder if God really hears prayers. Friends, whether your situation or concern is big or small, talk to God about it. Seasons of struggle can be treacherous time for the human heart. We are sitting ducks for despair and defeat. Despair can be a dangerous season, but it can also be a developing time, a time in which we learn to trust God, to lean unto Him and rely on His ways. God can handle any problem you give Him. Nothing is beyond His ability or His resources. No request is too big or too small. God specializes in the impossible. Your problem may be big, perhaps even bigger than you know, but your God is bigger and His promises to you are stronger and surer. The truth is that everything else in life is going to fail. Maybe your health, your relationship, your job, your finances, your possessions, etc. Sorry to be a downer, but nothing in life is meant to last except one thing. When all else fails, God doesn't.